What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the man cave. I was gonna say the garage. Um, so just picking up where I left off last. I was just basically cleaning up the rest of these parts. I'm still waiting on a few more bolts and stuff before I send off my bucket of bolts and brackets, which is filling up nicely. Gonna send that off to the zinc coater. Get some of the bigger pieces re-zinced. I actually might hit this with a wire wheel before, yeah, look at that. Just dumping rusty coolant everywhere. So I might hit that with a wire wheel and yeah, we'll get this thing cleaned up before we send it off. I just basically picked up a bunch of plastic washers and some fiber washers so that way I can replace all the old stock stuff that was messed up. And then what I'm hoping to do is just at least run the outer fender today. That way it somewhat looks like a car. Then what I'm gonna do, I've got a polyurethane steering rack spacer on the way. So that's coming as well. Yeah, basically just keep going, like I said, picking away little by little. I did have kind of a a down the rabbit hole moment, if you want to call it that. So every time you kind of start modifying cars, you end up going a little further than you originally planned to. Not because you want to, but because, well, it is because you want to, but it's because you find things that are either broken or just need attention. So my plan was to run the stock intake manifold and the air collector, because I've seen these run up to 1,000 horsepower, no issue. So, you know, I'm not gonna go too much past that. And I figured if I did, or if I was going to, I could just replace it then. But as I was taking everything apart to get this media blasted, cleaned up and blasted, plus the little nipple, I was gonna get that cut off and welded flush. I noticed something. So my throttle bodies, I'm just gonna pick this up and bring it over here for you. Grab a seat. So the throttle bodies all have basically this little plastic clip where the spring sits. And as you can already see, like it's loose. And on some of them, I can freely spin that all the way around. Yeah, like that one too. What that tells me is this, I mean, it probably doesn't do too much, but when I had the car running, there would be times where I'd have like a hunting idle, and I'd basically just have to pop the throttle a few times and it would close. And I don't know if it was this or not, but I mean, I just don't want to put this back on the car and have an issue where I could have fixed it while it was off the car. So these throttles will probably be going, because a new set of 3, so 6 throttles is about $1,200. And in my head, it just doesn't make sense to pay the $1,200, do the media blasting, and still be, you know, almost at $2,000, pretty much right there, when that same $2,000 I could have just bought, you know, Hypertune Plasma Man, something like that, with a single throttle body, done drive by wire, and then be set for whatever horsepower I ever could want to do, you know? So yeah, I don't think these bad boys are gonna stay, as much as I actually would like to keep them. The other option is to do a custom 6 throttle drive by wire setup, but yeah, that's not kind of something sold on the main market yet, so I gotta wait for that to come around. Looking at you, Anthony. So yeah, that's the throttle body and the intake manifold. I gotta make a decision there, that's all. I think on the weekend we'll have Vincent come by and drop off a couple of parts. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on it, but and then I'll be able to put the rest of the plastic and stuff in the engine bay. So just basically this cover, the rubbers here, and we'll be able to I can probably put the front lights on now, actually. Yeah, because I don't see anything else that needs to go there. So yeah, we'll do that tonight. Oh, so you remember I was saying I didn't want to put the nuts all the way down because I didn't want to dig into the paint. I think I've come up with a solution. This guy right here is basically just your average, everyday, like plastic drawer liner, like your shelf liner for like your kitchen drawers, or whatever drawers you want to use. What I'm planning to do is just basically make like a little template from it. So if I take this, cut off, I don't know, maybe that much, and then just lay my strut brace on top of it. So this is the end cap for my strut brace here. So I think if I lay it on top like that, make a stencil out of it, cut the holes out, I should be able to use this to put in between the car and the strut brace, so that way nothing digs into the paint and I can pretty much take it on and off without any consequence there. So I might just clear off some desk space, give that a shot, and then we'll come back when I go to fit it on. All right, so my desk space is pretty limited right now, so bear with me here. We'll trace this thing out and then we'll do some cutting. All right, so there we have our stencil, and now we just cut it out. So I know this probably doesn't look like much to some of you guys, but all it's meant to do is protect the paint. So I'm almost certain that that's what it's gonna do. So we'll just, would help if I take the bolts off, huh? All right, so I might have to trim it a little bit more, just jutting off this, but so far it fits pretty good. So let's just grab our, where are you? Grab this bad boy. Oh, lel, I got the wrong side. This one. Boop and boop. No, looks like we were dead on the money. Look at that. Come on now. Look at that. Dead on the money. And that does exactly what we wanted it to, which is protect the paint. So yeah, I might just trim that little bit of excess off just because there's nothing to rub there. But I'd say that's money. And then we go ahead and grab our little plastic washers here. Boop, boop. Stick these back on. And just as a test, I'm just gonna go ahead and crank these mamma jammas down. We are gonna see what happens. I'm either gonna look like an idiot or it's gonna work. All right, so this is moment of truth. I am really wrenching on that. So that's tightened all the way down. You can still see the really thin layer of plastic there. I didn't hear any paint crunching or scrunching up at all. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and undo it and see what the damage is. Hopefully none. I will probably cry if I just messed up my brand new paint. That could be the title right there. I messed up my brand new paint with some witchcraft. What we got? Come on. Come on. Huh? I don't see anything yet. And just so you can see, the bottom of this is wrinkled like wrinkle black. You can see where even the old KH2 is just scrunched into there from being just on the paint. So let's see here. That's just the top stuff from the paint on the strut bar. Let's take this off. Nothing at all. Whew. All right. So it didn't look like an idiot. It worked. And it, kitchen appliance, like done and done. That's really cheap for you. So I'm sure you could probably do that with plastic laying around the house as long as it's thick enough. Cheap, easy way to protect your paint from your strut brace. And then definitely the plastic washers. Anywhere where the bolts touch the paint, I would recommend putting them there. I'm probably gonna go back and like stuff like this, where I've put it, on the paint of the hinges. I might go back, but stuff like this is like a bolt with a certain length to it. So I might not have the clearance to do that. But I do have really thin washers over there as well. So we might get away with it. Yeah, so now that that's done, I did have one question. I saw something about Hikis, if I was gonna keep it. No, Hikis has been gone now for forever. Like I deleted it 2 years ago. Something I can show you is for all of you guys that have not deleted Hikis, what you can do. This is probably gonna be easier for me to do when we put this back in the engine bay. But this is basically your front steering rack right here that returns back to the Hikis lines. And when they say to do a loop, these are the two lines that you loop. So you can see I've got the rubber right there, looping it back in. You can also just delete this completely and put the capping nut on the power steering pump itself. But this is, to me, the easiest option, which now that it's out of the car, yeah. See, this is what happens. You go, oh, well, since I'm in here, might as well do this. Like, it's the worst. It is the worst. I'm having fun with it though. Like I know what the end product is in my head. I can see it, but I just got to get it there. So I think you guys are going to like what I've got in my head, and I know I'm going to. So it'll give me something that, looks stock on the outside, but when I go to a meet or, I go to a GTR festival or something like that, put the hood up and then boom, you're like, holy crap, that's not stock. So yeah, that's the plan. Let's go ahead and grab these lights. This over here. I don't want to drop it. All right, so this was one of those things I did kind of before I was really kind of filming everything. I went ahead and just taped up the lights themselves just so I wouldn't damage the lenses. What is this? The right side. So that's this side. See, that's why I taped it up. So I'll just go ahead and stick this in. Looks like I don't actually need to do anything, just stick it in. All right, so there we go. Race car mode with the blue taped up headlight, but it's in. It's shaky as hell because this side doesn't bolt in until I put the fender back on, but I will go ahead and put my little washer things back in. If you haven't done so already, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think. And if you guys have any questions or anything like that for me, put them down in the comments. I'll answer them basically at the end of each video. So yeah, leave some comments, ask some questions, and I'll see you next time. Oh, before I let you go, this Sunday here in Australia, about 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna do a live stream. Basically just the same thing, working on the car, hanging out in the garage, answering questions from you guys. but instead of, you know, waiting a day, you'll be able to do it live. So Sunday, Australian Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. we'll do a live stream. I'm excited and nervous. I'll see you guys then. See ya.